Lviv region, Ukraine. From the outside, it didn't look like a prison. The high cement walls surrounding compound matched similar gates and gardens in the small community. In western Ukraine, a few dozen miles from Polish border. But the camp inside was filled with Russian POWs wearing identical dark blue overalls with training colony written on the back. The men slept in large rooms, bunk beds covered with checkered blankets. Each spot was labeled the resident's name and photo. Read next. Military sees sharp decline in number of white soldiers. None of them knew how long they would stay in camp or that they would have to walk corridors adorned with Ukrainian historical figures and national slogans. In direct opposition to the propaganda fueling Russian President Vladimir Putin's narratives about war. While full-scale war has been going on for almost 2 years, increasing number of captured Russian forces and the freeze on prisoner exchanges have led to more prisoner of war camps like this one popping up across country. Although the official number Russian prisoners of war in Ukraine is not publicly disclosed, experts estimate that thousands of soldiers were captured throughout the war. A wounded Russian prisoner of war reads a book from his bunk bed, the hospital dormitory he shared with dozens of other prisoners in Ukraine after being captured on the battlefield November 2023 to better understand Russian soldiers fighting in Ukraine and get a glimpse into their current lives as prisoners of war. Military toured one of the largest camps in the country last month and interviewed several prisoners. "We have nothing to hide there and you can see that conditions are good," said Petro Yatsenko, spokesman for the Ukrainian Coordination Center for Treatment of Prisoners of War. Prisoners of war constitute a unique class of people whose freedoms are severely restricted but who have more rights than typical prisoners. Ukrainian military officials responsible for operating facility that military toured are committed to complying with all aspects the 1949 Geneva Conventions, which outline specific rules for overseeing treatment of prisoners of war. Most importantly, the law states that prisoners of war must be subjected to humane treatment at all times, and must be protected, in particular, against acts of violence or intimidation, insults and public curiosity. Each prisoner of war interviewed was asked for their consent before speaking to military and spoke within immediate earshot of nearby guards. In order to protect identity dignity, prisoners of war interviewed in this article, in accordance with international law, and to respect requests Ukrainian authorities maintain operational security. Prisoners' faces, surnames will not be shared along with any information indicating location facility. When military visited, thin, tall prisoner with short hair and bright blue eyes was bent over table, nimbly folding paper bag before placing the finished product on pile. Vit.